Yeah, 20 after 11 o'clock, it is 25 degrees, almost reaching Barbara's prediction of 27 degrees today, which is rather fantastic. But so far I'm winning. I said 24 degrees, so I'll take the win at this point. It is Friday, coming into a brand new weekend, and let me do this.
Galaxy 107fm.
You know, I am absolutely elated. In fact, let me just put that over there. Sorry about that. And absolutely, I think this is fantastic. I do. I love this band and this man's music. I really, really do. First of all, got to welcome everybody along that's joining us this morning on Facebook Live. Coming, and believe me, this is absolutely fantastic. Coming out of Toronto is Johnny Nocash. And believe me, you will love this music. I guarantee it. I really, really do. Because believe me, if their stats are anything to go by, and believe me, I'm playing a lot of Johnny Nocash right now at Galaxy. Check this out. Here's Dark Skies. And believe me, love this. So, where did you get the name from, Johnny?
Oh man,
hey Randy, darling.
It's
Hi,
kind of a funny story.
Hi, sweetheart.
When I was doing this solo stuff, I was playing in real crappy small pubs, and I didn't have a name for myself that I thought worked. And at the time, I was listening to a lot of Johnny Cash, and because I was so low budget, I just made a joke saying, you know, it's kind of like a Johnny Nocash project, and literally it just stuck. And it was kind of a joke at first, but then it was kind of catchy, so just went with it.
Well, you know, I love it. I really, really do. And I have the skinny, I have the bios, both of them actually, a couple of bios here.
One he sent and one I researched.
Yeah, one you sent apparently and one Barbara researched, and well, we'll cover a lot of this, but believe me, I love the opening line, I really, really do. And I will let you know about it very shortly with everybody else. Dark Skies is playing at the moment. Fantastic song. In fact, one of the very first songs that I heard of Johnny Nocash. It really was. Johnny, I've got to let you know, it's not easy getting an interview here with us. Poor Barbara gets about 30 bands a day to source through, if you know what I mean. She whittles that down because we have a certain standard that we can only play. Some of them, mate, what can I say? Hopeful would be good. Actually, hopeful they don't come back again would be another way of putting it, you know, but we get a very certain standard, and of course Barbara takes that to production, and Barbara sort of whittles that down again, and then it goes to a board. Now, keeping in mind we only have a certain amount of time in a week to be able to do these. We have to, I mean, 30 a day, my God, in a week, many.
That's a lot, man.
But I found Johnny.
Yeah, you found Johnny.
Yeah, I wanted Johnny.
Yeah, absolutely you do. So then it goes to a board. Any given board meeting, it could be 8 or 12 members of the board. Their only concern, Johnny, literally, is that it's our image, you know what I mean? So it's got to be good.
Yeah.
Then Barbara sends it to me. Now I get it on a little USB kind of deal, and I'll tell you the truth, I play it in my car. For two reasons. First reason is I have to do the interviews, so I want to know myself without anybody else influencing me whether I want to do the interview or not.
Yep.
The other reason is nobody wants to drive with me.
Yeah.
Not even God?
No, mate. They think going sideways is weird.
Well, I'm used to that.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, we live in between three major cities, and we're a little milling town, if you know what I mean. Now, everybody that works here actually comes from the biggest city, which is Auckland, and we solely moved here for economic reasons. You know what I mean?
I don't blame you. I don't blame you, man.
I didn't want to play the millions in Auckland that I can get for a couple of $100,000 down here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%, man. The big city sucks.
They do. Let's go to the desk. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and Randy, nice to have you join us. Nice talking to you earlier on, it really, really is, and love Randy O'Neill, I really do. Barbara Lynn Doran is joining us as well, nice to have you joining us, and the Millennia, everybody else as well. Absolutely brilliant. Don't forget, a little later on, if you're going to watch this later on YouTube, you know what to do, right? Yeah, sub, thumb, bell. Bingo. Bell, yeah, notifications, right? Joined today, absolutely fantastic this is. It really, really is. Coming out of Toronto is Johnny Nocash. And I got to read you this, I do. From the North We Come to Raid. Bit of Viking in there, I'm pretty sure of it. Celtic Death Country pioneers, Johnny Nocash, and the Celtic Outlaws are a whiskey-fueled, smoked-out Armageddon of chaos. Johnny, absolutely brilliant to meet you. Welcome to Galaxy.
What's going on, man? Good to be here.
It is an absolute pleasure, my friend, and believe me, I absolutely love your music. I really, really do. Love your style. Now, how long have you been playing, Johnny? You know, how long have you been an artist?
I've probably been playing now for 20 years. Doing the acoustic thing, though, probably over 10.
Okay, so you're still learning?
Oh, God, yes. Every day, man. Every day.
Believe me, I know exactly what that's like. I really do. This is a dark reinvention of country, and it's the dark reinvention of country that you've been waiting for. I can guarantee you that. Love those lines. Who wrote that? Who was the author of that?
I did. We have no team working with us. It's literally just the four of us doing everything. We have had some help with our German friends, actually, that helped design our logo and stuff like that. But I mean, as far as like coming up with EPK kits, bios, like all the Spotify things, and it's all on us, man. So when we were asked to do a bio, I was like, man, this is the most degrading. I don't know. It felt like a cover letter for a job. Sorry for the sirens in the background. This is the neighborhood I live in.
Oh, that's okay. In fact, I thought they were coming from me there, to be honest with you. That would be more...
Going from Skid Row, man.
Believe me, I seem to have blue uniforms escort me everywhere I go in public. Yeah, I do. Now, Johnny, we opened up the show with Dark Skies. Now, tell us about the lyrics of this. Where did you come to this?
Dark Skies was a tune that was written maybe 5 years ago now. It was just one of the first songs I had written right after about a 6-year hiatus of music in general. And it was kind of just breaking apart from some of the ties that were really toxic in my life. But at the same time, I find myself extremely attracted to a lot of toxic things. And I think with Dark Skies, that's what makes thunderstorms beautiful. Like sometimes we hibernate, we go inside, and then sometimes we stand and watch it because it's something to be seen. And Dark Skies is one of the kind of songs that kind of defines our overall sound. It's heavy, it's emotional, it's, I think it's atmospheric. It's kind of got a bit of folk and country in it as well, so it's got kind of everything that we represent.
Now, you used to be a one-man band back in the day.
Yep.
What changed your mind?
You know, I still play solo. I mean, there's no stopping doing that. But I think I started playing some slightly bigger shows with bands, and sometimes I was slotted in between some pretty powerful sounding bands, and it was difficult to not compete, because that's a terrible word to use in music, but kind of keep the energy up to that kind of sonic level. And I just started thinking, I mean, the music's simple enough that we can probably put something together, and it kind of fell into place a lot easier than I was anticipating. So lucky for that.
Now, I got a fan question for you right now. Johnny, as a fan, how do we get hold of you? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram? But more importantly, do you respond?
Okay. We are on Facebook. Facebook is run by the four of us, so it's probably a lot more likely to get a response from Facebook's, because there's four people that are being notified that there's a message. Instagram is a little different, mainly because they're all individual, and I do have an Instagram account. I don't respond to a lot from Instagram, mainly because a lot of times people will respond with just, you know, an emoji, and then your phone will just be going off the hook sometimes, and it just, to be honest, I don't want to be on my phone. I like informing people and checking in with some of the bands and friends I have on social media, but honestly, I don't like scrolling through it for hours.
I'm sorry, as soon as you said emoji, literally I had this vision of Barbara's phone. Well, she gave her phone to her husband, who stuck it in his back pocket, and the last person she spoke to was a guy coming out of North Carolina called Matt Walsh. He got about hundreds, because her husband's butt kept, you know, giving him. It was to the point where he was begging her, please stop, you know what I mean?
It was funny.
So, yeah, I mean, we do respond. I would say if it's merch-wise, of course, we respond to everything. That goes directly to our guitarist, who kind of takes care of that. But I would say email, because usually when someone emails, it's pretty important. Kind of. Whereas I find with Facebook and social media, a lot more people have access to that, and sometimes you're just getting spam and things like that.
Yeah, I get that. And I'm pleased you said that, you know, the Facebook one is shared between the four of you, because believe me, you're going to get about 5,000 new Facebook fans in no time at all now, and you'll be too busy sitting there doing this all day to get anything done, to be honest with you. But nice to see that you're having a sociable while we're having a conversation as well. Makes me feel far more comfortable now.
Okay, hey man, listen, I love hanging out. I love interacting with our friends and fans and things like that. It's sometimes, now that nobody's playing shows, the energy isn't the same as it was, say, a year ago. Like, the excitement has kind of switched to a very different mentality, and interacting digitally sucks compared to shaking somebody's hand and, you know, having a shot with them.
Yeah, believe me, I'm right there with you, my friend. It's the same here in New Zealand. We have the same cautions. Everything has changed. Unfortunately, Barbara, being manager of Aurora Entertainments, isn't bringing bands into the country right now. We're not doing shows, stuff like that. But even though there is some shows going, and believe me, we had a couple of shows, 20, 30,000 people, which is starting to get back to where we want to be. And then we had another breakdown, you know what I mean? And everything went 6 steps backwards again. And believe me, it's just like whacking your head against the board, you know what I mean? You get more sense out of it that way. Robert Gillis is watching us this morning. Nice to have you along, brother man. And Tina, nice that you love Johnny Nocash's music. And I'm sure a little later on we might be able to do something along those lines to be able to get Johnny to say hello to Tina Spalding. just a little later on. But in the meantime, Johnny, I want to talk to you about Pagan Dance. This is a fascinating song. Tell me all about it.
Pagan Dance, oh man, it literally changed my whole focus of this style of music. Again, it was written around the same time as Dark Skies. I had just come out of this, 5-6 year hiatus, so my vision of music was matured and different than it was, say, when Dagger Road was released. And when I came up with the Pagan Dance riff, which is quite simple riff, but it's really inspiring, and it just gave me goosebumps when I first wrote it. And when I was improvising the vocals to it, it just made me feel very one with nature, And at the time, I was in the city, and it was kind of just my kind of sonic escape of this concrete jungle that was literally being built around me. My whole neighborhood was starting. The skyline was disappearing by skyscrapers and condos, and I was just. Pagan Dance was one of those songs that kind of re-inspired, I think, me to take this by the reins again and see what I can do with it.
Well, I got to be honest with you. So far, we've had 1,200 requests from it. We do play it here at Galaxy, and believe me, you will love it. Here's Johnny Nocash and the Celtic Outlaws with Pagan Dance. How you feeling, Johnny? You okay?
Dude, great. Feeling good.
Nice. It's kind of surreal time right now with this COVID virus thing going on, and I presume you're not doing a lot of shows. But are you planning for the future? This can't go on forever, surely to God.
We're completely off the air, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're still on Facebook Live.
Barbara's still doing her movie thing.
Facebook.
Well, I think with the future is difficult, mainly because, like you said, it keeps on opening up and shutting down, and there's this wave of hope, and then it's taken away. It's really difficult to kind of have an idea. If I was to have an idea, I would say it would be small towns.
Yeah.
You'd have to literally go back to basics and start doing small town pubs, small town country and western venues, parties, outdoor kind of bonfire parties, shit like that.
We're already doing that here in New Zealand, and believe me, I think Ryan Neville's a good example of that. He is just hauling butt everywhere up and down the countryside right now. But again, small places, small venues. Lucky if we get 100, 200 people in there. And believe me, we're kind of used to the 5,000 plus kind of deals right now.
Festivals have brought in a lot.
Well, our festivals here,
Yeah,
look, we can do up to 130,000 people in a day. But realistically, right now, it is just like minuscule. A couple of hundred people.
Hi, Bonnie.
But we're happy to do them.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, we're really
absolutely.
And
I think,
honestly, we used to grumble if it was like a couple of hundred people back in the day, or maybe a couple of years ago, going, "What the hell?" Today,
right.
we are so grateful to have those couple of hundred people.
Well, this is the other thing too: is those couple hundred people versus the 1,000 people that you were getting. Those couple hundred people want to be there.
Yes, they do.
So you're getting like 10 times the energy in such a small, compact, compressed ball.
Exactly.
And I think that's so much more powerful.
Let's go back to the desk, Johnny.
Yep.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. It is 20 minutes away from midday, 12 o'clock and 26 degrees. Just bordering on Barbara's prediction of 25. Hasn't got there yet, I'm still winning.
Well,
And I still have hope that it isn't going to go any higher, really. She can't win.
I will.
Yeah, I know she will, but, you know, that happens. Friday, March the 5th, got to say hi to Bonnie Pappenhuisen. Welcome back, Bonnie. It is an absolute pleasure to have you, and please say hi to Roger Adams for me. Looking forward to meeting up with him in the near future as well. And coming out of the west end of Toronto is a young man called Johnny Nocash. Love his work. I really, really do. And have been fascinated now with listening. You know, I'm an engineer. Johnny, I don't listen to music like a normal fan would. I listen to it as an engineer. I break it down in its increments. I work it out, see what, where, how, when. And believe me, I really can't fault your work. I really, really can't. Where did you get your work recorded?
The latest single and the latest EP, To the Gallows and Burned Alive, was actually recorded in Michigan, which is such a strange... I mean, I'm in Toronto. We have tons of studios here, but we went to Michigan because the studio was owned by the native Howl, who they play thrash grass. And we went on a small tour with them. These guys know our stuff. They just get it. And we felt that if we had gone to just kind of a run-of-the-mill engineer, it would have turned out alt-rock or something.
You know, I get that. And I want to give them a plug as well. Cleanest Dirt Studios in Michigan. Who was your producer there?
Alex Holycross. He's actually the lead singer and songwriter of the Native Howl.
Okay, well, you know something? Those guys did well by you. Believe me, I absolutely love the sound, the quality, everything that's gone into it, the whole mechanism. And believe me, I've been an engineer now for about 37 years. So every now and again I find something that absolutely intrigues me. And as a DJ, I just can't wait to play it. You know what I mean?
We were really happy. We were also extremely punishing, I think, to him because we had such a specific... I mean, even though they play thrash grass and we play what we call death country, we have a very different atmosphere than their style of music, even though we're quite similar. And we wanted that big, brooding, kind of dark hum kind of throughout the entire piece. So they put up with us pretty well.
Now, I've just got to ask you, literally, we were talking just while we were off air about the circumstance. It's a surreal time right now with this COVID virus thing, but sooner or later, one day, we're going to be able to open up our borders again, get back to normal and start doing concerts, stuff like that. Johnny, would you be interested in playing here in New Zealand?
Oh my God. Yeah, man. You only live once. I'd travel anywhere to play. I mean, ultimately, that's the point of... that's the path I want to take. I love playing, and if there was ever an opportunity in New Zealand, I would take it in a heartbeat.
Now, I know that you have toured in Germany, and believe me, I got friends there, and I got one guy over there that would love to do an interview with you later on. I will give you the details of that. Here's a TV podcast kind of deal, and believe me, you'll be fascinated with Jorg's world. You really, really will. Jorg's a wonderful guy, he really is. But we would love to have you here in New Zealand, play a couple of shows here, maybe about a half a dozen over in Australia. We'll share you with the Australians. Maybe, only because we like their money, right?
It's all about the money, right?
Well, you know, you might be able to pick up that, you know, us Kiwis and Australians, we have this love-hate kind of relationship. They're over the ditch, and, well, you know, it's one of those things we do.
I get it.
You'll figure it out along the way here, believe me, you really will. But I got to warn you, if you do come here to New Zealand, are we kind of crazy?
I think I would fit in pretty well with that.
I like that, I do, because we do really, really weird things. Have you ever heard of a hoo-hoo grub?
A hoo-hoo grump?
Grub.
like the grub.
Grub? No. Is that like a bug?
Yeah, it is a bug, actually, it is. But it's a delicate. You see, the indigenous folks of New Zealand, the Maori, still have these as a delicacy today. They really, really do. Let me give you the skinny on this one. You're going to love it, really. Have you tried whiteworm?
No, I can't say I have.
Okay, well that's the the Mexican tequila with the worm in the bottom that's been there for...
Oh, yes, yeah. Yes, I have had that.
Okay, well, much along the same lines, but different as well. You see, I'm sure you're familiar with a caterpillar, right?
Of course, yes.
Okay, well this is nothing like that at all. It's big, it's white, it's really like a double-decker bus to a mini, if you want to put it next to a caterpillar. Believe me, it's absolute fun. And what you do with this, and I recommend alcohol before, possibly during even, and probably afterwards, is you put the live body in your mouth, rip off the head. Don't eat the head, it's yucky, it's crunchy, it's just not nice. But when you crunch down on the body, it tastes like creamy peanut butter.
No.
Yes, absolutely.
It does.
It really does.
Is this kind of a delicacy?
It has been. It is part of a traditional thing that some of the Maoris do here in New Zealand, yeah. But you got to wonder about the guy handing you a bowl of these white wiggly things expecting you to eat one, right?
I mean, if I was to go to New Zealand, there's no way I'd go there and not eat one.
Yeah, exactly. And don't worry about the mentality of the guy asking you to eat one. It's me.
I would make sure both of us did one, Grant.
Believe me, I'm very used to doing them. In fact, I don't mind them now to be... When I first started doing them, well, hey, you know what I mean? Now, I got to warn you, we have a place... Now, we're made up of 3 islands here in New Zealand. Right down the bottom, we have an island called Stewart Island. Somebody actually named it. You know what I mean? Gave it a name, Stewart. Great, sturdy name. Then they run out of imagination and come up with South Island.
Okay.
You got it. The next one is North Island, right? Yeah,
I dig it.
Believe me, I've been trying to rename these islands for years. I really have. I think they need decent names like Stewart, you know. But anyway, down the west coast of the South Island is a little town called Hokitika. Now down there, and I'm sure you're familiar with festivals, kids wandering around, hot dogs, candy floss, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, not there. It's wild foods festivals. You might see kids wandering around with deep fried locusts or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Unreal.
It is fun. It really is fantastic. And there is where you'll participate with some of the hoo-hoo grubs. And believe me, it's a lot of fun. It really, really is. And, well, I've been trying to get the management down there to open up a stall where we can dunk women in chocolate.
Hey, man, that festival sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Like deep fried locusts on a stick while listening to rock and roll. How wicked is that?
That's just absolutely superb. It really is. Have you ever heard of Queenstown?
I think so. I mean, I don't know. Like.
Now, I don't mean Queensland. That's in Australia where men wear dresses and high heel shoes and stuff like that.
Okay.
Queenstown is a little town down the bottom of the South Island. It's a boutiquey little town, come wannabe city, where all the A-listers from around the world go and get away from the paparazzis and all that sort of stuff. They, take their friends with them.
Right, okay.
Wonderful place. In fact, Shania Twain actually owns a huge amount of property down there. Kevin Costner was down there, Keanu Reeves, Tom Cruise. They all go down there, and believe me, well, they haven't been doing so much since the COVID virus, but believe me, up until that point, rocking. You never know who you might bump into. But I got to be honest with you, Johnny, you don't want to bump into me down there.
Well, I mean, I'd probably just prefer to bump into you to Kevin Costner, to be honest.
Well, I've tried throwing him off a bridge. It didn't happen. But I will probably throw you off a bridge.
Well, I mean, as long as I got one of those deep fried locusts and that buttercream worm, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, believe me. I'll make sure that Barbara sends you the video of the hoo-hoo grub too, by the way. But we have a thing down there called bungee jumping.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're not Australian, so we'll attach the bungee.
Thank God.
Yeah, we try and convince the other ones it's invisible. Don't worry about it. You'll be good.
Well, depending on how I wanted to go, I mean, it'd be a great place to go.
Yeah, exactly. Now, at the same time, we'll take you down the Shotover River on the Shotover jet down there. Believe me, that is fantastic. These are supercharged boats that they turn inside out, upside down, and all around, and you don't even spill your drink.
I don't believe that.
No, they do. It is fantastic. It really is. It's adrenaline charged. And believe me, us Kiwis here in New Zealand, we like to do things that, just get the ticker going. If it doesn't scare you, it ain't worth doing, right?
I hear you, man. You got to take risks. Life's
Yeah.
too damn short.
So then I would love to be able to walk you out of a perfectly good aeroplane.
I'm up for that as long as it's after the concert.
Oh, wait, well, we'll do it in between. How's that?
Yeah, okay. I'm down with that.
Yeah, in fact, we might even do it during the concert, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's... Man, you're thinking way ahead.
Yeah, believe me. Well, I've been a skydiver now for about, almost 40 years. And believe me, I absolutely love the sport. I love to introduce people to a new experience. And I don't mind strapping you to me and just checking out a bit of the scenery on the way down.
Well, I mean, now that you're mentioning strapping me to you, it's not sounding nearly as appealing there, Grant.
Depends whether you've got clothes on or not.
Even worse.
There you go. Something to think about.
Oh, dear.
See how many whiskeys I have by that point.
Yeah, exactly. Now, are you familiar with Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, of course. And I know, you guys beat us out because Peter Jackson was checking out Vancouver, in British Columbia, and I think that was a close second.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I actually went to university with Peter Jackson.
Is that right?
Yeah, I actually know him, which is rather weird because he, every time he hears my name, he cringes, to be honest. I went to university down in Otago with him. And, the original set of Hobbiton literally is about an hour and a half away from where we are right now. Unfortunately, I'd have to get the staff to show you through there, simply because I've been banned.
Oh, I mean, man, we can break in together if you want.
Okay,
true,
that sounds good.
I'd be down to check it out.
Believe me, the security cart, the cart that the security drive around on, went missing, apparently.
It's in the lake. It's in
Hey,
the
man,
lake. I know.
if I get arrested, you're coming down with me.
Believe
There
me,
you go. Enjoy your
absolutely.
money.
We will do it together. C.B. Malone. Oh my gosh, Mr. Malone's with us.
Cool.
That rock star. I'm looking forward to meeting him in the near future as well. Nice to have you along, Mr. Malone. Looking forward to meeting you. And it's cold, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is cold, yeah. And love playing your music for the first time on Galaxy this morning. Fantastic. Loved it. Now, Johnny, I want you to tell me a little bit about Southbound. If you're coming to New Zealand, obviously you're going to be southbound. Tell me how you come to it.
Southbound was, I think, the first song we wrote as a full band collectively. That song was designed for the band. There's no way that song can be played solo. I've tried to convert it. It doesn't work. I mean, man, we just wanted something stupidly aggressive, fun, not too death metal, and also had a message. And also, I really wanted that kind of guitar, country twang in it, even though there's a lot of distortion, solos, and drum fills and whatnot. I really wanted that guitar twang to still have some kind of merit to the rest of our things.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I absolutely love Southbound. I really, really do. And, as soon as I get in my car, that's the first song that comes up on the playlist, to be honest with you, and it really is. So right here at Galaxy is Johnny Nocash with the Celtic Outlaws and Southbound. track. I really do. Damn, it's hot in here. What's the temperature where you are, Johnny?
Today is actually really mild. I think it's 0.
Oh, okay, okay. Believe me, if it gets down to that here where we are, we're bitching. Boy, are we bitching. No, it doesn't want to be that cold. But
It's actually really mild. Like the sun is surprisingly beautiful today. Today's a gorgeous day.
Nice, nice. Well, now I've stuffed it up for you because you're talking to me.
It's all good, man. I'm already drinking.
You see it?
See, he has a therapist already. It comes in a glass container.
Yeah, but he keeps
That's
having
it.
to go away and refill it. Tell him to bring it all here.
He
He's
did
got
go
it.
and get it.
Oh.
Hey,
Here's
Jerry.
one for you, Johnny.
Hey, Babette.
I was talking to
Tina.
a lady who is a 10-time
I'm
Josie
Matt.
Award winner coming out of North Carolina. And
Matt.
she sent me
Oh, wow.
a hip flash. She even signed the back of it there.
Is that a flask? Or
It is.
like a...
It is a flask, but it had,
Oh, shit.
and I'm not kidding, it had moonshine straight out of the Appalachians in it.
Oh, that's really cool. That's
Yeah.
a nice gift.
Yeah, it really was, and very
And
appreciated.
you know what? It
And,
kicked his
when she
ass.
It's
was-
empty though, right?
Well, it is because
Kicked his
she won
ass.
her 10th award at the Josie Awards just a couple of months ago. This is
Right.
at Dollywood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we had to have a drink. And she says, okay, I'll go and get mine out of the freezer. And I'm going, freezer? Why the freezer? She goes, well, it's got to be cold. And I'd already poured it in a glass that she had sent me.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I'd already poured it, and I'm looking at her going, seriously, it's got to be cold. She goes, oh, you can't drink it. If you're going to drink it like that, just sip it. I says, no, hold on. We're Kiwis. We don't sip shit. So I threw it back,
It's true.
Yeah. Big
And-
mistake.
went red.
Yeah,
so much,
man.
so much so. I got tore up from the floor up. I got to be honest with you. It
Lobster.
wiped me up.
Good.
And that was just
I like
one. Then she came back at Christmas.
Yes.
And we did it again. But this time I was ahead of the game. I actually had it in the freezer. And it was.
Shit, man. Yeah, you really can't screw around with moonshine.
Well, this is the crazy thing. You see, I don't know whether you're familiar with Nashville or anything like that, but just out of Nashville there's a little town called Newport. And I stayed there for about 8 months. And in certain parts of those 8 months, the guys used to disappear at night time and come back with jars full of this clear liquid. That was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go back to the desk. Now, Johnny, you won an award for the video of that song, Southbound, didn't you?
Hell yeah. Yeah. Actually, 2.
Okay, tell me about them.
Yeah, we won one of the Toronto International Short Film Festival awards, and we also won the independent. There's another independent. I think it was all of Canada though, and we won the medal award, which was pretty cool considering I don't consider us too metal, but yeah, we won 2 awards for Southbound, and that's all thanks to Daniel Clements, who directed and edited that piece. We couldn't have asked for anything cooler.
Well, you're not metal, you're Celtic Death Country pioneers.
No, I mean, as far as his direction, like, it just looked so badass, and it was such a brilliant kind of departure from our last record. It was stepping it up, you know?
Absolutely, I get it, I really do. And I've seen the video as well, so believe me, absolutely. As I said, love your work, I really do. Terry Van Cannon's in the house. Nice to have you along, Terry. That flask is the stuff. Well, you know something, Terry? I want one like your wife got you for your birthday. It's got all the mechanism in there. That's fantastic. That's brilliant. And love to Jean as well. Want one of those. Fantastic. Terry Van Cannon's joining us. And he, well, actually his wife was watching one of the videos that we were doing at the time on an artist. And she noticed that I showed him the hip flask as well. Problem solved for birthday, you know what I mean? I just hope, Terry, that it came with a little bit of something inside it. I really do.
There you go.
Yeah, I do. They're only good for holding something inside it. They really are. And many times may you empty it. Absolutely. So, having said that, my friend, getting you here in New Zealand, we would love to be able to have you play a number of shows. As I said, maybe even over in Australia. We'll share you with Australia, maybe a half a dozen to 8 shows over there, which would now make it worthwhile you coming here to New Zealand. It really, really would. Maybe we should bring you back to New Zealand afterwards, I don't know, just to desensitise you from the Australian environment.
Listen, we've been in lockdown. If people could just smash culture in my face all day long right now, I would love it.
Well,
I wouldn't say no to almost anything at this point in time.
Well, I tell you what, if you ever get caught up in Australia and, well, you want to come to New Zealand for nothing, there is a way. I've got a perfect way. What you do is you say you're a New Zealand citizen and you've been arrested. They'll put you on an island for a couple of months and then they'll ship you off over here.
Yeah, as long as I have some kind of like Bluetooth speaker in my ear and somebody's kind of walking me through it, I'm sure it shouldn't be a problem.
Believe me, we get some 502s over here. That's what they call them too, by the way, the Australian deportees back to New Zealand. All New Zealand citizens done the wrong things somewhere, somehow, sometime, and now they just ship them back. You know what I mean? So, ever want a free ride? Just say you're a Kiwi and, you know, you're going to do a burglary or something like that. They'll put you on the island for a little month, bring you back over here. Bang, it works.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely work on the dialect so I can kind of blend in.
Yeah, absolutely. And believe me, if you want to learn how to be able to say the town where we're from, which is Kawerau, it's really easy to say. I actually had somebody who's running for mayor here say it to me one day. They said, say car weirdo. And I went, okay, car weirdo. He says, now say it faster. Now say it faster again. And sooner or later it comes out Kawerau. You know what I mean? And that's the name of our town. Yeah, absolutely. It's Te the traditional language of our indigenous folks, the Maori.
That's like the slang, I guess?
But no, that's traditionally how it's said.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that is.
See, I got a lot to learn.
Well,
yeah, I'm so far behind, I might need a translator.
Well, I tell you what, I was talking to an American lady just not so long ago, and I says, repeat after me, whakapapa. And she says, I can't say that. And I went, why not? She goes, I couldn't do that with my dad. I went, it's nothing to do with your dad. I said, whakapapa is actually the name for our museum in Wellington.
Whakapapa.
Yes, whakapapa. She thought it was something rude. You know what I mean? But,
how dare she?
Yeah, well, you know, lots of learning to do. I'm willing to teach her as well.
So sensitive.
Exactly. We don't want to upset anybody, so we'll move on a little bit. We really will. Ever heard of a Zorb?
I think I have, actually. Is that a metal band?
I'd love it to be honest with you. No, it is, and may I say, lots of alcohol involved in this. And don't worry about a pair of togs. I've got a mankini that'll suit you down to the ground, literally. It's a big, round, clear plastic ball, and what we do is we put you inside it and roll you down a hill.
Oh, okay. So just like a ball.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we used to do that with rain barrels back in the day when we were kids. You know what I mean? Hopping it, all tires. You know, rolling down the hill. This is just a big ball where we put you inside of that. But more importantly, what we'll do is we'll put some runners in front of you. Now it's like Skittles, right?
Well, if anything, I would say line some people up and use it like as a bowling kind of a human bowling game.
Exactly. All of that sort of stuff. We can do it all day long. Literally more alcohol, and believe me, the alcohol makes it really funny when you run over their faces. I got to be honest.
Well, I'll tell you, man, if I'm drinking, I'm not going to be the one inside that ball.
Well, I don't know. Good chance to get yourself a Galaxy Mankini.
Well, there's a chance of that. Maybe we could do some kind of reality show in New Zealand.
We could do that as well. We really, really could. In fact,
exactly.
I think it could be part of the legacy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
There's a good segue.
That is a good segue. Shit. Yes, the legacy. What a tune. That song was kind of written in the studio. We weren't completely finished with that song, and we only had, I believe it was 4 days recording all the instrumentation. And it was, I'm so shocked that that song turned out the way it is. And yeah, I hope you dig it. It's kind of one of our, again, it's kind of similar to Dark Skies, but I think a little bit more fleshed out.
Well, right here at Galaxy, and believe me, we get a few requests for it, especially on a Saturday. We seem to get a lot of requests for it on a Saturday, and loving it. And I got to be honest with you, 1,251 requests to point, and still climbing, I'm being told, here at Galaxy as Johnny Nocash and the Celtic Outlaws with The Legacy.
That's crazy. That's insane.
It's all
It's true. It's very true.
Let me just grab my smokes.
Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying the show.
Yeah, man, like, Legacy is not... we probably should have put that song closer up on the record. Like, closer to the front end. Because not a lot of people have heard it, and I think it's one of our better tunes.
Well, I've got to be honest, I think it's resonated something in our listeners. We have specialised shows, and we make sure that artists that we're going to be interviewing and stuff premiere in those shows pretty often, you know what I mean? And
yeah, honestly,
we're getting huge amounts of requests for Johnny Nocash, and The Legacy is one of the ones it's your second most requested song.
That's so crazy. I find that really fucked up.
Yeah, there's a huge
Excuse my language.
There's a huge leap from 1,200 to the score that you've got for Burned Alive, though. Huge leap.
Oh, yeah. Burned Alive, man. Oh, fuck. What yeah. It's been a trip, man. Like, the thing is with this lockdown, it's been so crazy to kind of, like, reflect and look back and see, you know, where things were going and then, you know, how things are going. And with Burned Alive, personally, it's such a cool song to play live. You know, like, it's one of our favorite tunes to play live. Well, my favorite tune, anyway.
It's my favorite tune as well, I've got to be honest with you, but I can't get through a breakfast show without playing it.
Without what?
Without playing it. Literally, we get so many requests for it every morning in the breakfast show. There it is. You know what I mean? Everybody wants it. Everybody loves it. They want to know more about it, and it's an absolute honour to be able to play it in my breakfast show.
Oh man, that's so cool, because we knew that Burned Alive wasn't going to be nearly as heavy as Southbound, and a lot of bands tend to go bigger and bigger, and and we really wanted to let people know that we are going to stick to middle ground, and but still be badass, but be halftime and have a little bit of a different vibe. And personally, man, I just love playing that song live. I love the drums, the beat, the rhythm. It's great.
I was told earlier on, you're almost at 4,000 requests for it to date. It's
Wow.
about 3,900 something. I'm sure the statistician will let me know as we go through. But believe me, I understand
Crazy.
that. I understand that because of the amount of requests we get structured for the breakfast show in the first place every day. But
Well, thanks, folks, man. Like, that's so cool to hear. I want to thank all your listeners. God, that's so cool to hear.
I got a young lady here who says, God, he's hot.
And he's melting my ice cream.
And he's melting my ice cream. Yeah, dear.
Oh.
Isn't it nice to have fans?
Yeah, man. Well, cheers. Cheers to... I don't know how to respond to that.
Believe me, you're doing the right response right there. You really are. Anyway, let's go back to the desk.
The chop chop.
Gamer.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and I'm joined live, coming out of Toronto, by Johnny Nocash. Johnny, can you do me a favour, please? Can you please
Sure.
say hi to Tina in Oklahoma for me?
Hey, Tina from Oklahoma. How you doing tonight?
Here you
Because
go.
I know it's nighttime there.
Well, I tell you what, you've just melted her ice cream.
Well, I mean, I'm glad to do that, I suppose. It's kind of a waste of ice cream, but...
No, not at all, not at all, believe me. Now, I got to be honest with you. We here at Galaxy 107 FM, and Barbara is the co-host of the breakfast show, we find it difficult to get through a breakfast show weekdays, Monday to Friday, without playing a Johnny Nocash song, and it is burned alive. Literally, just on 3,998 requests and climbing. Johnny, how'd you get so popular?
We're, first of all, not popular. But, I mean, I think the thing that I wanted to do was, I'm a fan of country, I'm a fan of rock and roll, I'm a fan of heavy metal. And I thought we were kind of in a stalemate in the last few years, in all genres. And it was just something that I wanted to do, was kind of mesh them and just say it's a brotherhood, let's all get along, and kind of combine back road fishing with getting wasted in the city. And, I think that's why we have loyal fans, is they really connect with it, and they do like that it's something different from the regular playlists.
I have so many people say to me, Johnny, love that voice. Really love that voice, especially in Burned Alive. And I've just been told 4,005 now. It's going up. It really, really is. And I got to congratulate you here, live, joined by Johnny Nocash, the man himself, Burned Alive.
Let him up!
Great song.
Yeah, it is. Fantastic song. How are you feeling, Johnny? You okay?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Straight.
We're good.
Good, good.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently I've still got a few hours work to go before I can go down the pub.
Ah, well. I mean, you got a great job.
Yeah, I do. I have a fantastic job. I really do. We've got about 12, 15, depending on what day it is, staff here at Galaxy, if you know what I mean. And a lot of them excel in what they do. Finding bands, getting everything all sorted, production, the sales team, the poor girl at reception who has to put up with all the requests coming in the mornings.
No doubt.
Poor Sarah.
No doubt.
Yeah,
Cheers to her. What's her name?
Sarah.
Sarah? Sarah deserves a shout out.
Yeah, she does too.
The receptionist deserves a shout out.
There you go.
You'd always
Sarah
usually
wants-
cute.
Sarah and Tina want to know if he's married.
Oh, okay. Sarah and Tina want to know if you're married.
No. I live in this small little box. This is my house.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, with his dragon, what we're going to meet after.
I'm sorry.
Meeting
With the dragon. With
We
the
want to see the
dragon.
dragon after.
Of course, the bearded
Oh, right.
dragon.
Yeah. Dolly Darton. That's her name.
It's in the back
I love
there.
it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Dolly Darton. I love that
Yep.
name. Yeah, he burned the live request again. Oh, okay. People, again, another request for your song, my bro.
Cool, man. Oh, man. Yeah, Burned Alive was such a fun contrast of everything that was going on at the time. And we were happy that 2020, surprisingly, we kind of released a lot for a band that was in lockdown.
I get it, believe me. And I've got to be honest, we're chomping at the bit to be able to do some serious shows here in New Zealand. We really, really are. It's just a surreal time. It really is. I mean, what, 2 steps forward, 6 back? It's crazy. And I hope people are not buying the vaccine on the internet. Don't do that, all right? Get it from a reputable supplier, literally, if you're relying on a vaccine. We here in New Zealand, we're quite lucky at the moment. We don't have to rely on a vaccine, which is cool, but I know people are going to get them. They really are. Anyway, let's go back to the desk. Johnny, I've heard that people, in some countries, when you give a shout out to a woman like that, you're engaged.
Yeah, she said
Oh,
she's
so
not
be it.
single anymore.
Yeah, okay, well, let me introduce you to Tina. Believe me, she wants to marry you right now.
As long as you'll accept an onion ring, just like Homer did for Marge,
There you
I
go.
think it'll work.
Actually, my first engagement ring was actually a cigar wrapper.
Oh, that's classy.
Yeah,
I
well,
dig that, man.
It really
that's,
was.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, one of those metal ones back in the day that you used to get around the big old stogies. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I pulled that off and put it on a finger. Well, she said yes. But she's
Didn't
not with
work
me
out.
now. No, it didn't work out now because she wanted a real one at the end of the day. I was going, oh, no, I gave you something. That's good enough. But, you know, crazy things you do when you're young, right?
I think that's extremely romantic.
It's very true too, it did happen. Now, having said that, my friend, I'm going to have to wrap this up, unfortunately. But we've been talking about the surreal times and everything that's going on with the post-2020 deal. Are you writing? Are you recording more stuff right now? Are you looking at bringing out any new stuff in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still alive, so I'm definitely going to be always playing stuff. What I've got going right now is I've been kind of just working on a solo record. We haven't been able to write as a full band, and there's a lot of shit that I got to talk about, so I figured now's a good time to just focus on that for the time being, you know, and I think that's kind of cool, actually. There's a lot of songs that I've written with the boys that don't work as a full band, and this is kind of a good opportunity to flex those wings, if you will.
Well, you do have that one-man band background anyway, so you'd be very comfortable with working with yourself. Do you get pissed off with yourself all the time?
All the damn time. I get in arguments and then I start agreeing with myself, and I'm thinking, wait a second. It's almost like a split personality complex.
Yeah, I get that too, and believe me, I don't want me to win.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm taking you down.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, and you're not going down without me. Literally. Believe me, I'm right there with you, bro. I understand that. But what I'm hearing is maybe, just maybe, you'll come back again. Will you come back and release new stuff with us?
Oh, absolutely. I don't see 2021 being a dormant year. I mean, I'm almost finished. Some solo music that I could release pretty soon, and hopefully if things, get back to some kind of norm, the full band can get together and start ripping it up again.
I am excited. I really, really am, Johnny. It has been an absolute pleasure meeting you, making your acquaintance, making your friendship right now. Would love to have you back again. And don't go anywhere just yet. We're going to do a couple more things. Believe me, you'll get a copy of everything that we do today. And, well, I'll apologise now to you, to be honest with you. But let me change over to the other studio, Studio B. You're right here at Galaxy. Have a very happy and successful day. I'll see you again Monday.
I kinda don't give a fuck. I don't know why you look at me with such concern. Give me one good reason not to get an 80s perm. I might be high on life, but mainly on a few other things. Cause when I'm dead and gone, baby, I'm coming back to haunt you. And when I'm dead and gone, my baby, I'm coming back to haunt you. And when I'm dead and gone, baby, coming back to haunt you. Alright. There ain't no good way of getting rid of me. I'm like a fly on shit, a cocksucker on the knees. I'm never wrong, never right now, just blackout drunk. I love that you keep putting up with my shit, with my sting and my fingers and my smoke on my breath. Do you think we'll be together for life? My baby, my honey. And when I'm dead and gone, baby, I'm coming back to haunt you. And when I'm dead and gone, my baby, I'm coming back to haunt you. And when I'm dead and gone, baby, coming back to haunt. It's like wow, building up diarrhea, trying to hide. I just gotta let it out, my baby. It's just how I feel. I never loved anyone quite like you. I love you so much, you make me wanna fucking puke. You're the rotten to my apple, yeah, that I can't sleep without.